Hi folks, welcome to a video walking you through how to use Prezi. This is online Zooming presentation software. I was actually introduced to it by one of my kids when he was in the 4th grade, and his teacher had set up a classroom account, and every student was doing his or her own Prezi on an animal for a science project. So it can be used with elementary students, whether we're talking you do a presentation for your class or you ask your students actually to do an assessment this way. Because a great way to use Prezi is to set up a classroom account, that's what I've done. So when you go to prezi.com, P-R-E-Z-I, go to log in. Yours will not automatically populate, but what you want is pvengl3043@gmail.com. Check eCourses for the password. You click Login, and you'll notice because this is a Classroom Prezi account, there are quite a few in here. What you want to do is click on the blue button that says New Prezi. So you'll notice it launched a new tab in my browser. It takes a little while to load. And then you get this very different looking edit menu. If you're used to using PowerPoint, Prezi's different. The first thing you're presented with are your templates. This can be a great way to start, to have a good look. You'll notice that a lot of them already have a minimum of 5 views, which is what you need for your project. I'm going to go ahead and use a blank one, because that way I can show you how to do more. You can choose whatever you want, however. So I've chosen my blank template, and here it is. This is equivalent to a PowerPoint slide. You'll notice that I only have one slide or view right now. This blue circle is what's called a frame. And I have lots of options for frames, if you consider 4 lots. I can do a bracket, a circle, a rectangle, or I can have an invisible frame which doesn't show any border. I'm going to go ahead and stick with this nice circle one. And you notice it tells me click to add text. When I click, I get my text editing window. You'll notice that I have 3 choices for what font I want. There's title, subtitle, and body. I cannot change this. I can change the color, but I only get 3 font options. Now you might be going, oh, well, that kind of stinks. Actually, when you're doing a presentation, you really don't want to have more than, say, 2 different fonts, because otherwise it gets really distracting. 3 for a professional presentation should get the job done. So I'm going to go ahead and start with a title. How to use Prezi. I can expand or shrink this box. I'm going to go ahead and leave it all on one line, and I'm going to change my color to hot pink, just because I can. So I'm going to move my title up top. Well, that isn't very exciting, is it? What I really want to do is add another text box. All I did was click. Let me do that again. Arrow here, click. And you notice it already defaulted to body text. And I can start typing. Let's say step 1, sign into Prezi. Step 2, choose a template. And you'll notice there's an arrow or a little caret here. And if I press on that, I can get some more options. I can make a bulleted list. I can indent things. I can change my alignment from left to center, etc., just like you would in a word processing or, frankly, PowerPoint. I clicked out of the text box. If I click back into it, I can move it around wherever I want. I can make it bigger by clicking on the plus key. I can make it smaller by clicking on the minus key. If I want to go back and edit, there's a little option that says Edit Text, and that kicks me back into my text editing window. So that gives me one relatively unattractive and boring Prezi view. Now, how do I add another one? You need 5 views or slides or basically stopping points for your Prezi for English 3043. Right now, I have 1. But if I start clicking with my mouse, holding down and dragging, I can actually get to a broader canvas. And notice over here, there's a home feature, and then there's a zoom in and a zoom out. I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. I can keep zooming out if I want to, but frankly, I'm going to stop. What I'm going to do now is add a new frame, because that's how I'm going to get my next view or slide. I click on it and I can zoom to the frame, and you'll notice it already gives me a couple of defaults. And I can start playing around with it, making stuff really, really big. You know what? I really don't want to add text. Notice I'm clicking on and off and on and off, and it's not going away. So if I type one letter in here, I can then delete the text box. What I actually want to do is insert an image or a video. So I go to the Insert menu. I can put in a YouTube video, which is pretty great, especially if you're teaching lower grades, because you can insert or embed a YouTube video, and then you don't have all of the distracting suggestions for you on the right side of your screen. It really is just the video to help your students focus, because sometimes the suggestions aren't necessarily appropriate for 6 or 7-year-olds. I can insert a regular old image. That's where I'm going to start. And it says, do I want to insert something for Google Images, from Google Images? And what I love about what Prezi has done with its updates, I can check the box that says search only for images licensed for commercial use. This means that I'm only looking for images that are not only copyright free, I could actually use them to make money. So I'm doing my copyright free, I'm getting the right images, and then some. So I'm going to see if there's anything for a school bus. And here are all of my commercial copyright-free options from Google Image. So I'm going to go and insert the first one. It has to process and load it in here. And bam, there it is. I'm going to go ahead and click and add a little title or caption. Yeah, I know, that doesn't make sense. But I'm doing this on the fly. So, so now, if I go back over here and zoom out, I now have 2 frames. And over here, I have 2. If I click now on Present, go ahead and allow it. Here's my first one. I click the arrow, and it goes to my next one. Pretty cool. It's not that exciting though, is it? I mean, it's not zooming, it's not really doing much at all. Well, what I can do, if I click on my second frame, is I can start, if I want, zooming in or out, making it smaller, making it bigger. So if I make it small, I could actually put it right inside my first view. Let me go to Present now. So here's the first one. And now it zooms in within my original frame. One of the criteria I'm going to be looking at for your own Prezi presentation is that you use the zooming feature to some good effect. So do keep that in mind. Now, one of my options is to insert a YouTube video. And you'll notice it says simply paste a YouTube link, and then you can go ahead and insert it. Then you'll get this processing message again. I paste my URL in there and I click insert. Now you notice I can move it over and do all of this, but it doesn't show up basically in my presentation. So I can either put a frame around this, or I can click on the Edit Path button right here. Because right now, I go from my circle frame to my small bracket frame. Well, then I want it to go to my YouTube video. And notice how now it's part of my presentation. Now I can click Done. And I have 3 views. So I can use Edit Path, I can insert and add frames, I can keep doing all of this until I have a complete presentation. Now what I would like you to do for English 3043 is to create a presentation that you could actually put in a portfolio. So if you're a future educator, make a Prezi that you could actually use in the classroom. If you're planning on going into government or public policy, make something that could be put on a governmental website to help constituents or people in your area figure something out. Remember, the focus of this class is professional writing for electronic media. Don't forget your grammar and mechanics. Make sure everything is spelled correctly. Follow the rules for good slide design, please, please. Don't make things too crowded. Make your fonts big enough. Now you'll notice everything has basically auto-saved. If I try and exit my Prezi without saving, it will yell at me and ask me, don't I want to save? The share button here, I just want to show you. You can invite other people to edit it. This is easily a collaborative or team endeavor. You can share it on Facebook. You can download it as a PDF, which is great if you were going to do a professional sort of conference presentation and you wanted people to be able to follow along. You can also download this as what's called a portable Prezi. Maybe where you're going to be doesn't have a reliable internet connection. You can still do your entire presentation. Now, things like YouTube and things that are online are going to be more difficult to do without an internet connection. But anything that's simply text, images, graphics, you can present from the desktop of a computer, and it will zoom and look cool and do all of that good stuff. Couple other reminders. Make sure that you title your Prezi. Right now, mine is called Untitled Prezi. Please use your name. This allows me and your classmates to identify whose presentation is whose. When I exit, it'll show you what it looks like to me, to other people who log into the class account. And here's where you can edit your title and your description. If you go back out to the main page, I can put my name. Yes, I know I'm not Jane Jones, but I'm just showing you stuff. And then up here, it has my Prezi title. This is what you need to paste into eCourses to submit your work. As always, if you have any questions, please email or tweet me or use the Ask Your Instructor forum in eCourses. I look forward to seeing what you produce.